This controversy blew up online over the weekend. A bride was in the middle of her ceremony and had struggles getting through her vows as one of the guests' babies was crying loudly in the video. And she gave a short look to the cameraman, looking quite perturbed by the whole situation. And this ignited a huge debate about whether weddings should generally be child-free, adults-only events because of the disruptions that come with inviting whole families.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the video.
Okay, here we go, guys.
Times over the last few weeks, but I'm the only one that knows them. And one of the questions I asked was, when did you know you were in love and wanted to spend the rest of your life together as husband and wife?
Someone's screaming.
I mean, did anybody check to see if it was the baby that was objecting to the union?
She was,
Yeah, right?
yeah, she was objecting. So this is the look she gave to the...
Everybody's...
Okay. Claire, you look beautiful today.
The baby agrees.
Josh, you don't look too shabby yourself. First and foremost, I'm incredibly honored to be up here with you both today. For those of you who don't know, my wife...
At that point, do you think it's on the parent? Like, why haven't you removed the baby from the room?
Yeah.
Through premarital counseling earlier this year. We spent about 8 weeks together
It's
and
just
discussed some of the hard...
I think the baby knows something.
Maybe.
That's what I think.
I'm going to be the voice.
As we enter into marriage. So before today, I asked each of you a few questions about each other. And by the way, these answers were shared separately. So I'm the only person
crying.
who knows them.
You're both
I guess
wrong.
besides my wife, who, God bless
She's
her soul, has
glancing
listened to me
toward
practice this about 50 times over the last few weeks. But I'm the only one that knows them. And one of the questions I asked was, when did you know you were in love and wanted to spend the rest of your life together as husband and wife?
Okay.
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 So I mean,
So-
it's not like she rage quit her
No,
own
no,
wedding
not at
and
all.
was like, "That's it, I'm done."
No.
She was just giving a weird look.
If you want to support and endorse families, that means dealing with children. Like I love the fact.
I mean, I don't think they're saying leave the kid on the curb.
I love the fact that Musk walks around with his kid. I love the fact that like everybody put up that picture of JFK Jr. with his kid, or John F. Kennedy with his kid under the desk, contrasted with Musk and his kid around. I like the fact that I like the idea of having kids around. And I think that we should normalize that. The idea of hiding kids away is bad. I think that's anti-family. I think that is something that the left would do. And I think that if you want to endorse and support families, the most basic and easy thing we can do is understand that kids are kids and embrace having kids around in public places.
Well, what's interesting is that as the birth rate in this country has been declining, our attitude toward involving children in public life has also been shifting, and parents have been governing the behavior of their children less and less, and I think that's why people are fed up. There was a time in the mid-20th century when it was understood, children were to be seen and not heard, generally, and I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing, and it was something you would deal with, in the moment. If you were in a situation like this where your baby is crying in the middle of someone's wedding ceremony, you would probably take your kid out to avoid disrupting. And
my point here would be, it's like, look, first of all, I think the idea of making an adults only wedding is silly. But I do think that there would be an expectation that if the child is being disruptive, that leaving the ceremony would be okay. Like, I don't disagree with it.
Kids make noise. If the disruptive, in my opinion, is if the kid was like, if you had a toddler that was trying to run around and stuff like that, that's one thing. The kid is just making noise. Adults should embrace having children around because we're adults. You don't expect dogs to do things that dogs can't do. Expecting children to do things that children are going to do is totally normal.
This is going to be a 5-hour, 6-hour ceremony. The kid will be involved in the the food, in the dance floor, all of those settings. I'm not saying kick the kid out prematurely. I'm saying that if there's being disruptions made, maybe I'm just partial to this now. In the middle of vows.
Both wrong. You're both wrong. The only reason that it's even on here is because people are like, someone should have done something about that kid.
Well, the parents
this shouldn't even have gotten on the internet and been a thing. If society expected children to be around and it was like, oh, it's normal for kids to be around and kids make noise, this wouldn't even be a topic that we're talking about. We should, as a society, embrace having children around, and that means that sometimes they make noise. That's just the way that it is.
20 from Gordon Shumway. You're absolutely right, Phil. Every time I see anyone mocking Christianity, I say, that's cute. Now I dare you to do the same and mock Islam, and they always refuse. The hypocrisy is unreal. You can't take them seriously. Yeah, it's a known pattern. Well,
there are people in the chat equating the child to a dog. You are an idiot.
I don't know who's...
You're a moron.
Well, I don't think that dogs should be as tolerated in public life as they are now, for sure.
Dogs are not human beings, and I'm like definitely a dog person. I love my dog. I generally like dogs. If you think that if you think that it's a good argument to equate a dog to a human child, you're an effing moron.
Well, yeah, there is too much. I think I've seen a lot of people in recent years equating dogs being included at restaurants and gatherings and planes and everything like that. And I don't think that's acceptable either. But I do think it's the parent's responsibility. Mm-hmm. I think that the parent should have taken their baby out.
I agree.
To calm down. I mean, we don't even know how old this child is.
Yeah. Again, we're saying kids and babies are not the same thing here.
Yeah, we don't even know how old this kid is, or if it even is a baby. But they probably have a reason that they're crying, and you can tend to that.
I don't think that kid was crying. He was just making noise.
I don't know. You don't know unless you see. But we only saw from the front. And then I saw Matt Walsh gave a take on this, saying, excluding children from a wedding is ridiculous and self-centered. It's incredibly bizarre to invite someone to your big celebration, but specifically tell them that their children aren't invited. Also, if your baby is crying during the ceremony, you need to take them out. Both of these things are true.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that it's on the parent to remove them from the ceremony.
Disagree. I disagree.
And I think there needs to be a bit of a return to the children should be seen, not heard mentality.
So that's one.
There's too much catering to...
That's fine, and I think that's a perfectly fair thing to say. Children should be seen and not heard, but because there are a lot of children that boss their parents around and stuff. But I think that we should, as a society, not say you have to leave with your kid, because that is one of the things that starts the whole life is better without kids. It's the whole it's the attitude that absolutely.
That's extrapolating a lot of meaning.
You may not approve of this, right? But there was a time where everybody, the whole family slept in the same bed, in the Middle Ages. And they were plenty religious too.
Sure.
Christians and stuff. So the idea, that was a time when families were expected to be together all the time. The whole you have to leave with your kid, that would have been unheard of 150 years ago, 200 years ago. And it definitely would have been unheard of 500 years ago.
There are plenty of other scenarios where, if I'm on a plane, I just recently was on a plane with a couple of kids who were crying and talking the whole time. I don't care about that. Or if I'm in the middle of mass and I hear babies crying, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But if it's something to the level of the importance of them exchanging their vows, and this is on video forever, and all of these other people are probably annoyed by it too, go tend to the reason why the kid is upset and come back. It's not that deep. And I don't think there is some meaning to extrapolate from it. This is an anti-family sentiment just because kids don't abide by etiquette.
Plants the seeds.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're not saying that they can't be involved
because we used to have a much
entirety
more,
of the day's events. Okay,
having a child-free wedding is insane, but I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that's an anti-family sentiment behind it.
Like nobody in their right mind thinks that parent deciding, like, my child is being disruptive, I'm going to take it outside the room so that they can continue what they're doing while I calm the child down, is somehow anti-family.
We have a couple 20s.
Hold on.
Both wrong.
Jose Quintana said, elephant in the room. Brett, have you discussed this with Olivia?
Yeah, no kids.
What saith the bride? Ghost Empress, have you contemplated this decision for your future nuptials? Would you tolerate the babies/toddlers ruining your day?
We've had this discussion. I will not tell you the answer to this discussion.
You won't?
No, we haven't actually had this specific conversation. No.
Oh, okay.
There's 10 gazillion things that we're in the process of making decisions on. So this is
one of
there
many.
will be children there, but I don't know if anybody that we're inviting has
young
young
babies.
Yeah. So, but it is something that we're thinking about. And look, I'm just looking at this purely from the cost perspective, right? Looking at what it costs to have a wedding. You want to get it right. You want to do it the first time. I'm just saying, I understand that they're like, look, we're going to be here for 8 hours. We've got a cocktail hour. Then we've got dancing. Then we've got, all of this other stuff, speeches, all of these other things in which all of the family will be there. I understand. You don't not invite the children, but if the child is not able to keep it down, you just quietly take them out of the room. And I don't think that that's anti-family. I think it is one of those things where when you work in this space and you talk about large-scale issues, a lot of the time you tend to extrapolate very heavily on something that may not be that deep.
We have another 20 from Isaac. I'm on team baby. Those vows sucked. The baby was right to complain. Honestly, the vows did sound stupid. And I really don't like when people do custom vows. Baby. Honestly, that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. But if that's what you did, do you? It's just not my taste. I don't know. People just can't agree on any standards of etiquette now.
Nope.
Let alone ones that are as complicated as this.
Yeah.
So
it's not like the lady threw a hissy fit.
No. I mean, they're saying that she's outraged. The title says outraged bride.
Yeah.
I saw her give one look at the camera and get back to it. She was just...
Again, she says, the crying baby definitely distracted me and left me feeling disrespected. But it's not the baby that disrespected her. In her opinion, I'm guessing what she's saying is the parent that did not, do something about it, that disrespected her.
And she didn't have an adults-only wedding. Yep. She invited the families, and what happened.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.